Welcome please to the JVG podcast, where these G's are gonna spread their seeds of knowledge about the league. It's flourishing with these. These funny catchers seem to be well read, esteemed and honest. Like the man himself, Jeff Van Gundy. They are high IQ, so cerebral and funny. So if you're on the bus, just border on the dunny. Listen to the
JVG NBA Tribute Show.
So, do you see that thing up there? You see that apartment? So you remember the apartment we were saying that they were shooting an adult film in?
Yeah.
If you look one window, let's say one cell to the right and then up. You see that one?
It looks like a kiwi bird.
Oh, exactly what I was going to bring your attention to. It's a lamp? I feel like it could be a lamp.
I think it's a lamp, but it really looks like a kiwi bird, or like
an ibis.
Or like those masks they wear at Carnival in Venice, you know? It looks...
Yeah.
Or like fucking... What was that book? The Book Thief? No.
No, I think you're thinking of the movie with Tom Cruise. The Book Thief. No, the movie with Tom Cruise, where he's like, goes to that party.
Eyes Wide Shut.
Yeah. One of the few good Tom Cruise movies.
Yeah, because... Well, it's a Stanley Kubrick one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I love his films.
As do I.
Have you seen 2001: Space Odyssey?
No, I've listened to 2001 by Dr. Dre.
It's exactly like that.
It was the soundtrack for the movie, wasn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
You're about to say something else. I feel about the kiwi fruit across the way.
Oh, I was just gonna say, if it does remind us of the mask from Eyes Wide Shut.
Here we go.
A lot of sex stuff going on over there.
True.
Like they're filming an OnlyFans special in one of the apartments. You know, next floor up, they got the sex mask from Eyes Wide Shut. And the other thing.
Oh yeah, which we'll scatter at some point throughout this episode. So keep your ears peeled for that. It's been like 5 days since we talked. It's been 4 sleeps or something.
Yeah, not many at all. And we really gassed back a lot last week.
Yeah, I mean,
we were warranted to do.
We really stretched what content we are going to be putting on this podcast to its extremes. But I had a good time, and also,
oh yeah, man,
I've received quite a bit of positive feedback for that episode.
Yeah, I got the most I actually listened to that in quite a long time.
yeah, a lot of that, and then also a lot of extended basketball. Well, not even basketball fans. It extended beyond basketball fans, and they went, lol.
Yeah, they're like, that was actually funny.
Yeah. No, that was actually funny. Yeah.
Do you think we're good enough at that part to like...
No. Go on.
No, you answer my question.
No, I don't think so. I think that we can do it once in a while.
Yeah.
But because we were really pulling our stories from like months and months ago and stuff. Yeah. So I think we probably need maybe every 3 months. Maybe seasonally.
We need to do a Law and Order themed episode.
And when did it come out? It came out, I think it came out in September. Which means we can start it seasonally.
Well, no, it would have... Oh, yeah, it would have come out in September. Damn!
So, you know what? We're bookending it now.
So, first ep of every season. We reflect on the season.
That has passed. Oh my god, I like this.
And what is more winter than Law and Order? Or Crime and Punishment? Or War and Peace?
You know what I always think about? Not always, but sometimes. You gotta be a fucking sick, twisted individual to commit a crime in the rain. Like, if you're gonna commit a crime, if you're gonna rob someone, if you're gonna jack someone, you can't do it in the rain.
Why not?
'Cause, man, it's fucking already raining.
I feel like that's the best time to commit a crime.
Yeah, but I mean...
all the evidence floods away.
But I just mean...
this is one of those psychopath tests again, isn't it?
My whole point is, like, if you're gonna cause headache, at least don't do it during the rain.
Right.
Like, if there's gonna be a victim in this situation, if you're gonna, like, vandalize a big building, then do that whenever. Mm-hmm. But, like, if you're gonna jack someone, at least make it a dry day.
Yeah, but why?
Just like out of consideration. Out of
person.
Consideration.
Okay.
Because it's like there's already the headache of fucking being wet.
Yeah.
Which isn't too bad, I find. But I would hate to get like robbed in the rain.
Yeah. Okay, I see what you're saying. Like,
yeah.
if someone stole your wallet or your car and then you're fucking in the rain, you'd feel so bad.
Yeah.
But what if you got murdered in the rain? I guess it doesn't really matter, does it?
Probably the best conditions to be murdered.
Wow. Okay.
Imagine you're like, oh my god, I'm having such a good day. In the sun.
Right.
Sorry. Oh my god, it's such a nice sun. And then you die. That would suck. Even wind, I reckon, would be better to get one of my favorite new terms for my drill, since my drill phase. If you get chinged in the, wind, even that I think would be more heartbreaking than getting chinged in the rain.
Right.
Because I think wind is the worst element.
Right. But, I mean, does it matter if you're dead? Do you want to go out on top or on the bottom? Like, do you want to be having a really nice day and then, oh, what? We've ruined your day. We've murdered you. Or do you want to be like, oh, it's a shit day anyway?
Yeah.
Might as well get
Might as well get chinged.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Chinged.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Chinged is stabbed, by the way.
Yeah, I haven't heard that one.
Chinged, cheft.
Yeah, right.
Chef. Yeah, that's a good one.
Wow.
Both of them mean stabbed.
Not bad.
But those are all my drill terms for the week. Wagwan.
Diced? What about that?
Is that also like
I
getting?
just came out with that one.
That probably.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, that'd fly.
Mate, I got diced on the weekend.
Is that a kiwi fruit? Is that a kiwi bird?
Yeah, we're full circle.
Well, speaking of,
And all those things.
better open your eyes because they're wide shut.
Man, it just really looks exactly like a kiwi.
Yeah.
Has it moved?
No, it's a lamp.
But does it always look like that, or is it just like the way it's positioned?
I think it's only really caught my eye tonight.
Yeah.
Tell you what, man, across the way tonight, a lot of action. I feel like there isn't this much action.
Another
usually.
classic movie, Rear Window.
Oh my god, Alfred Hitchcock.
Yeah, exactly.
Cop that, fuckhead. What was the other Alfred Hitchcock one? The other one he made?
Vertigo?
No. It was the
Birds.
Did he ever make
Psycho.
one that was black and white? Like in the black and white days?
Yeah.
Because Rear Window was colour.
Yeah, and Psycho's like black and white until, spoilers alert, gets fucking stabbed in the shower.
Yeah. By Scream as well.
What was the other one? North by Northwest? That's the one where the...
Yes, that's exactly the one I'm thinking of. That was in black and white, was it not?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Well, let's find that out. Because that fucking, that thing where the plane flies into the barn, everyone's like, man, this is it's like the sickest shot in cinema.
Yeah.
Yeah, in 1959 maybe.
Yeah, well, was it in 1959?
It was in 1959.
So it would have been black and white, surely.
No, in colour.
Holy
Come
mackerel.
have a look. There's a old...
Steve Martin. No. Fuck, what's his name? Was he a Bond? That was a Bond, wasn't it?
You got this. Nah, he wasn't a Bond.
Oh. Well, then I don't got it.
No. Cary Grant.
Oh,
You know, he was in freaking...
James Bond.
No. He was in North by Northwest.
Yeah, he was also in Charade.
Dude, we should 100% know one other movie that Cary Grant was in. Well, I should.
Well, Marco's just clicked on his Wikipedia page. I feel like this is something we should do more of.
Click on the Wikipedia page.
Yeah, because there's always some fact that just like makes content for you on Wikipedia.
Handy.
Wikipedia.
One of our favorite podcasts is our new favorite podcast is just guys looking at the internet together.
Yeah. Also, not just anything, but list.
Yeah.
So shout out podcast about lists.
Hey, there we go.
No, I'm very glad I started listening to it. It's so fucking funny.
So funny.
It's so random.
Yeah. It's so random.
I can't believe how many jokes they make.
Yeah.
I reckon it'd be 4 per 10 seconds.
I think, because I've been noticing, whenever they have a guest on, no guest can keep up with the amount of jokes they make.
Yeah.
Like, they just can't keep the pace.
Yeah.
They're being serious and say, no, there's no single moment you're allowed to be serious here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you find anything fun on for Wikipedia?
No, I didn't.
Wikipedia.
I didn't find anything else about Cary Grant.
That sucks. He stars in North by Northwest though, by the way.
Yeah. Thank you. I'm really glad I know that.
So how do you want to start this one off then?
Man, we got fucking, I think, probably one of the best playoff games in either code of the year, of the calendar year.
Maybe the best playoff series of the calendar year.
Yeah, I think so. Certainly the most competitive.
Yeah. And then we can talk about the other series. And then we can talk about Donovan.
Yeah, we finally had... This actually feels like the first proper NBA news in a month.
Oh my... Yeah, definitely.
Like, I mean, you could count the Patrick Beverley trade, but like... Whatever.
But I don't even think we talked about it.
We didn't even talk about it. We just brushed over it.
Yeah, well maybe we can do a tight one on that. A tight 1 minute.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, I agree with the Lakers side.
Yeah.
Also the Jazz side.
Yeah, the Jazz side is fine. Taylor Horton-Tucker's... I'm putting all of my money on he's never going to be good though.
Nah.
People are like, oh, he could pan out to be like a pretty good role player. He's not going to be good.
Yeah. Well, like, what's the thing? People bring up his age. What's his age? Someone give me his age.
I want to say 25?
21.
21.
He was born in the year
Fuck that
2000.
up.
So that's the thing that's like, it's always like, oh wow, he's a lot younger than you think. The other thing is, what's the flash? What's the sign he's ever showed in a game that's like, oh, this guy's going to mean something?
That Summer League game 2 years ago?
Oh my God.
He didn't even play well, like, I don't think he even played at the next Summer League, but then he didn't even play well in the preseason last year. He was bad.
Yeah. And now we have like 3 years of NBA action to have not seen something.
Yeah.
So that's that on that. Stanley Johnson, I definitely thought when he got drafted was going to be the best player from his draft 5 years from the date of the draft. Couldn't have been more wrong.
Wow, really?
Yeah, because
I did not know that about you.
Coming out of high school and college, he had like a full on. He had filled out. Like how big he is now.
Yeah.
Maybe he was like fractionally or a fraction slimmer, and he just stuck out so much. So my thinking was like, oh, so this guy's already got like a game, and he's already got the body. So all he has to do is acclimatize to the NBA, and he's been good, but he hasn't been great. The reason he kept getting like waived and stuff is because he's not great.
But like, to your credit, like he is one of those players who, he's in his mid-20s, but he feels like he's 34.
Yeah,
like. Not, and I actually mean that as a compliment. Like he plays like an experienced role player who's played a lot of basketball.
Yeah, and understands his role.
Yeah.
And then the Pat Bev side of things, I mean, that's good. That's good for the Lakers. It's very good for the Lakers. To have a guy on the court that's just gonna like try, and then also is just always hovered around 40% from three for his career, which I think he definitely doesn't feel like the type of player that does. But he does. You can check it out.
Yeah.
On basketballreference.com.
I think he does feel like it. I think whenever he shoots in a playoff game, it goes in.
I like that. I like that. But yeah, I think honestly, I was thinking about it today. I think I would trade AD.
Yeah.
If I was the Lakers. Because he just needs to play the center. In like a closing five of Pat Bev at the 1, AD at the 5, LeBron at the 4. You are so on the right track to like a great closing 5.
Yeah, you could just throw like Alex Caruso and KCP in there. It would be a championship contending side.
It'd probably be the best 5 in the league. And then obviously there's a Russell Westbrook stuff now. It's like, oh, well, are they going to trade Russell Westbrook? It's like, all right, they've been trying.
Yeah. I love the angle that like trading for Pat Bev changes the Russell Westbrook situation. It's like they can't trade him anyway.
Yeah.
Like they've been like, hey, stay and accept this role, and he's been like, I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
So trading for his arch nemesis, it's not going to make him it'll probably make him more upset, but it's not going to get him out of the franchise, or in some sort of role of reverse psychology, get him to play the role that they want him to play.
Yeah. No, absolutely not. But I just like the approach of like, all right, well, let's just get a point guard.
Yeah, exactly.
Like instead of like getting him away, it's like, all right, let's go with a different point guard. But I feel like that's all I have to say about that.
Yeah, me too. I think it'll be nice. It'll just be nice for the Lakers to be playing a point guard who you're sure about as well. It's not like, Dennis Schroeder, like, can he step up and make the jump? Can't. Well, Russell Westbrook's playing badly. Like, maybe one of our young guys can do something. They can't. So yeah, they'll just have a solid. If AD is healthy next year, fucking biggest if ever, they'll have like 3 just solid options at any given time. And they had 2, and 2 of them were injured for half the year last season.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
And now the Jazz just do not stop making deals.
Yeah.
What was it?
I actually got it. Yes.
Donovan Mitchell to the Cavs. So I can do that side.
Yeah, the Cavaliers received Donovan Mitchell. Utah Jazz received Colin Sexton in a sign and trade. Lauri Markkanen, Ochai Agbaji. Wasn't sure about that one for a second. Then they got 3 first-round picks and 2 first-round pick swaps.
Yeah, so I feel very good for both teams. You know what, honestly? I actually realized that I didn't hate on the Jazz. I hated on the Mitchell-Gobert pairing. Because I feel good for both Mitchell and Gobert in new situations. But the Mitchell-Gobert Jazz were just like... They were just hateable. And I think that I feel good for all 3 of those parties now.
Yeah, definitely. I think there's obviously like still more dismantling that needs to go on at Utah. You know, like they've got like 3 veteran guys in Conley, Clarkson, and Bogdanovic who like, you know, they can't stay on the team.
Yeah.
Like they're not going to give them minutes, and they're not going to be any use for what this team wants to do. But yeah, I think like now that the identity of Mitchell and Gobert has been stripped of this team, it's like, oh, okay, like you can really do anything now, and I'll be more of a fan of it.
Yeah.
When we first started this podcast, I made the terrible omission of the Utah Jazz from our top 7 and our first top 7 bottom 4. And my reasoning was like, I'm just sick of them. Like they've just been doing the same thing for like 3 seasons and it hasn't worked. They then obviously finished with the best record in the conference, and then, you know, a pretty average fucking second round exit, which they repeated this year. So I'd like to say I was kind of right. Like, I was sick of them, and I think they finally figured out they were sick of each other as well.
You're definitely ahead of the curve. Hey, something I just realized. Since the last episode and this episode, I haven't shaved.
Wow.
But I shaved that episode. But this is how much growth I get in like 5 days now.
That's pretty good.
That's heaps more than I used to get.
Really?
I hate it.
Wow.
I don't want it.
It's like at the same length as your sides.
My head hair. Yeah. Well, I don't like it. I don't like it. Cut it off. Anyway.
It'll be a good visual comparison. We can get them up side by side, you know.
Oh, true. Although I might have shaved the next day. Anyhow.
Well, you don't like your facial hair. What do you like about Donovan Mitchell in Cleveland?
Yeah. This is what I like. So, Cleveland's Big 4 now, and you can call them a Big 4. The ages, I think, are 20, 21, 24, and 26. And that's really, really good. If the oldest player of your Big 4, and it's like, I say Big 4 in like these are already kind of established players.
3 of them were All-Stars last season, and the other one was runner-up in Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, and Evan Mobley might be in the league for 20 more years doing exactly this.
Yeah.
But they're 4 players that at the very least have some sort of backing and some sort of resume to say, okay, cool, they're established players in the league. They're starters. Like, if you get those players in your team, it's because you want them to fill the starting role in their position. And the oldest one is 26. Now, if you keep them together for 4 years, which is kind of uncommon in the league today. But if you keep them together for 4 years, in that time, I'm sure that a star or a superstar will either come, like sign, or you can trade one of them as a big contract to upgrade and then get a superstar to the team along with subsidiary pieces. And I was going to say some picks, but they probably can't trade picks for a couple of years. But that gives them those couple of years to be able to trade those picks. But that's like looking at it from way too analytically and like from a managerial point. This is such a good turnaround for the Cavs. They lost LeBron in 2018 and he left in free agency, so they didn't get anything back. And now they've got such a good. They probably have the best young core in the league.
Yeah. I like this move. I think that this move is like it's kind of out of your desired textbook of what like good young teams would do. It's like you've got everything now. Why wait?
Yeah.
You know, like Memphis. I'm not gonna knock Memphis because they took the champions to a good 6-game series last season and finished second in the league. But like they're doing that thing where they're like trying to hedge their bets both ways. And this is like, all right, well we have discovered that we have our 3 guys. Like Evan Mobley's had this fantastic rookie season. Darius Garland had like breakout certified all-star season. We'll extend him. Jared Allen is also an all-star. Okay, maybe in like a an East without a whole lot of really good bigs. But he's also we're also only paying him $20 million for the next 4 years.
Yeah.
So like this is the opportunity. This is the opportunity when like we have all the talent, the money's gonna work. There's no reason not to do this trade. Like, there's no reason to be like, oh, why don't we see, like, if this player can improve or that player can improve or blah, 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 blah. So, I think this is just so smart and also just incredible to not only go from losing LeBron in 2018, which they drafted Sexton that year and then Garland the year after.
Yeah.
Not only doing that and getting good young players, but, like, then getting an all-star 4 years later. Like, you'd think there'd be at least another 2 years on this timetable of kind of rebuilding, getting a good core before, like, a guy like Donovan Mitchell is willing to come to the team. And then, yeah, I hadn't even thought about in the next 3 years, yeah, they might be able to attract even another great player. And then you've got like 5 borderline all-star players, starting 5.
Yeah, I was just checking on Basketball Reference, like the durability of each player, and they all seem to hover around like 50 to 60 game seasons, 50 to 70 game seasons, which is, good, not great, but by those numbers, you're probably going to have you're probably usually going to have at least 3 of those guys playing, if not 4. And then you can also factor in that, like, as they become a more competitive team, health will become more of a priority. So they'll be like more, they'll be more worried about getting their health right for the playoffs. And then now they have just taken the step to a great step to contending, and they've changed the expectation on them, which I think is in a good way as well. Which I think is always, I feel like probably just like thinking about it just from like a franchise's point of view, that must feel great. As a franchise, if now we're expected to win. Like, that must feel like a really big step. And now they're a serious team in the East, and they're going to be they might not be top 4 next season, but after that, they'll probably be a top 4 team in the East every year.
Yeah.
For the foreseeable future.
They could be regular season fucking giants as well.
Well, that's what I'm thinking. I think they're definitely there. Yeah. They will be regular season giants.
If Donovan Mitchell, even keeps close to his current numbers, which 26, 27 points a game, with the defense, with those 2 big guys inside, and Darius Garland also. Let's get his numbers up, because they were very good.
Mitchell was 26, 4 and 5.
Yeah.
Darius Garland last year was 22, 3 and 8.5.
Yeah, that's so many assists.
That,
that puts you right up there. So if they keep anything close to that production, they're gonna win 55 games.
Yeah, that's regular season teams do have top end depth.
Yeah.
So I think that they'll probably just autopilot to home court in the first round of the playoffs. Yeah, I'm just thinking right now.
No, I'm not saying for sure next year, but
I think for sure the year after.
Yeah, it's just so well within the realm of possibility.
Yeah.
that they could finish top 4. They're fucking man. We don't talk about the contracts as much here. Over on the Not the Deep 2, the WNBA tribute show, which you're listening to, episode 110 of, by the way.
Oh, yeah. Thanks for enjoying that.
But fucking having these 4 guys under contract, 2 of them under very friendly, team-friendly contracts until the end of 2025.
Yeah.
And then having Evan Mobley's, max rookie extension, and still having another year of Jared Allen getting paid $20 million. It's just so sexy.
And I'm your co-host, Lukas.
But sorry, what were we saying?
The top 4 in the East.
Yeah,
I reckon this year, the Heat, the Bucks, they're gonna have to be 1 and 2. The Celtics probably, definitely they'll be 1, 2, 3. Do you reckon it's open after that?
I reckon Philly will be pretty good.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
Of course, of course. So that's top 4.
Yeah.
Man,
it's really hard. It's really hard to crack that. But
top end of the East is looking good.
Yeah. If Jimmy gets injured halfway through the season, and then they're like, all right, we're just gonna try and focus on the playoffs. Or if Embiid gets injured halfway through the season, like, all right, we're just gonna focus on the playoffs. That's all it takes. And then the season after that, fucking one of those teams isn't gonna have the roster that they have right now.
Yeah, someone's losing a superstar.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe to Cleveland. So yeah, I think in the 2023-24 season we can pretty much predict a Cleveland top 4 finish.
Yeah. I wanted to make a joke, but I don't know how to. I can't.
Okay. Cool, man.
Anyhow, I want to be like, oh man, what about that Brooklyn roster? What could possibly go on there? Funny as fuck.
Oh yeah, no, they're going to be 0th. I forgot about them. Sorry.
0th.
Yeah.
Go on.
Are there any concerns here, do you think, for the Cavs straight away? I mean, obviously, they didn't look great on the wing last season, and this sort of caps them from, I guess what would have been like the traditional expectation of this team, given a guy like Mitchell not being on the table, is like, all right, just go out and get like a pretty good wing.
Yeah.
You have the assets to do it. So you can kind of spend on a good three. Now, obviously, they're either gonna have to make do with who they've got, which it's like Karis LeVert, Isaac Okoro, Chetty Osman, or I don't know, go looking for a vet or something like that. But do you think not having like a kind of a solid wing will affect how good this team is, or do you think there's just too much talent in those other four players?
I think that Levert, Osman, yeah, it's my phone. It's really annoying, isn't it? It's so loud.
Just fucking.
I think that like Levert, Osman, Okoro, as you said, I think that they're fine options when the other four players are who the other four players are. I also think that if they were to get like a bigger body defensive three, or kind of 3 and D, but not even the 3 as much.
No.
Just the D.
Just the D.
And like a bigger, like bulkier body. Like Jay Crowder's coming to mind. But he doesn't grow on trees. Can't believe I'm saying that. But those players aren't just like readily available.
Yeah, exactly.
But I think one of those could actually add a win or two, and also make you feel a lot better about them in a playoff series. But I think that player can come. I don't think that they need to rush getting that player. Back to the Utah side of things. I was just thinking, as you said, the vets being Conley, Clarkson, and Bogdanovich. Straight up, they will probably get a first for each of those players.
I said this in the group chat the other day. Like, how many first round picks, we'll round it up or down, do you think those 3 players net?
I think it's 3.
You think it's 3?
I think they're all in individual trades, and they get back a first round pick each.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I think it's 2. I think one of them. I think maybe Conley.
Yeah.
Conley won't quite attract a full first rounder.
I can buy that.
Yeah.
But then also, I just don't know. I think Danny Ainge probably is the type of guy that could squeeze a first out of it. Because at the deadline, Bogdanovich can add that wing scoring to a team that doesn't have it, and it's like he can do that. I think Conley can run a backup, run the backups, and also definitely do some relief starting, point guarding, and playmaking, and like leading an offense. And I think Ainge will be able to market that into a first. And Jordan Clarkson, I mean, it's like 6'5" scoring guard. That's a 6th man of the year build. Like that's I reckon that's a sure first round pick. So I reckon it'd be 3.
Okay, I'd buy it. I'd buy it either way. Yeah, I mean, I think Conley and Bogdanovich's deadline players make sense. I think someone should go after Clarkson now.
Yeah,
and just get their 6th man in the rotation.
Yeah,
and ready to go.
Yeah, no, that's a very good point.
Yeah,
I wouldn't mind having him on the Wizards. Turn like Barton and one of Denny or Rui into Geordie C. Because that would be also... The thing I'm happy about with Barton is that he's going to chuck shots up.
Yeah.
And Sean always criticizes me for that. But like, fucking watch a fucking Wizards game, you dog. We need it. We need that. Like, that's something that's missing.
Yeah.
And it's something I've always liked about like Jordan Clarkson and D'Angelo Russell up until this season. Like when D'Angelo Russell was coming off the bench. Like, if you have like a pretty good bucket getter coming off the bench, that opens up so much shit for your team.
Yeah, definitely.
So yeah, I fully agree. I think that someone should go after Clarkson now.
What do you think of the rest of the players going to the Jazz? I mean, obviously the picks. Yeah, you get 5 picks. That's as many as you're gonna get.
Yeah,
and you get Agbaji. That's basically another first round pick.
Yeah.
Anyway, so
and then the marksman.
Yeah.
And Colin.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm happy for... I think Lowry Markkinen might get moved to another team as well. I feel like Colin Sexton will really enjoy his time in Utah. I think there'll be a lot of opportunity for him, and I think he'll probably be like a 20-point scorer.
Yeah.
Actually, no, I take that back.
Well, I don't know. Like, is he... Once they strip away everything else. Like, is he the first option on this Utah team?
He I think he will be. But that's what I was trying to think about. Like if they're running a 9 or 8 man rotation, yeah. But I think that this team will probably run like 11, an 11 player rotation.
Hundy P.
Yeah.
They got to give the fucking God. Who do they even have?
Walker Kessler.
Yeah, I mean
They might have drafted someone.
Nickel Alexander-Walker will be starting, so he'll be getting plenty of
Oh,
opportunities.
fucking hell! Will he actually be starting? Do you reckon?
I reckon he's probably in their like top 6 players at the moment.
Probably. I want to see what they're saying their depth chart is.
I know you made a joke about it on the Instagram today, about how many Utah Jazz games you'll be watching. But I'm going to be watching with gross fascination. Like
Gross fascination.
Well, I love it when they fucking tear a team like... It was like the Portland... it's like Portland at the end of last season. They'd shut everyone down. And it was like, well, what the fuck is this lineup? Like, who's Trendon Watford?
Man.
Why did I watch him play 7 times last year?
They straight up... I reckon they actually have 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I reckon they have 11 players they need to play. That like the powers above, and probably also the coach will want them to play.
What a funny roster.
Yeah,
it's so funny.
It's strange as hell. And then Rudy Gay's just there.
Yeah, there's a lot of players that still need to go. Like, I don't think Markkanen's gonna have a like. What's the result for Markkanen in Utah?
Yeah,
you know,
what's all right?
Adored white man in Salt Lake City.
That's huge, huge for them. 40.5 games for Larry Markkanen in Utah. Over under.
Under.
I think under.
Yeah.
I think under.
There'll be injuries.
Yeah. And then also, I think he'll be gone by the deadline.
Yeah, he'll get traded. And then Malik Beasley as well. It's like, well, he's 29. Like, he's not.
Man, there might be even more firsts.
Yeah, I think Malik has lost his first round appeal.
True. He's allure. His first round allure.
Yeah. If you asked me that, 24 months ago, I would say fucking two firsts. Get Malik Beasley to, fucking Boston or something like that. But,
well, I was just... Funny you bring that up. One of these guys is going to Boston.
Yeah.
One of these guys is going to Boston.
True, because Gallinari's out he might be out for the season now.
True. Well,
True. I actually know a European guy who can shoot threes. He's looking for a new team.
Rudy Gay. Yeah. Well, obviously it was Larry Markkanen. But I think that Geordie C could be a funny fit in Boston.
Yeah.
Because he kind of fits the scheme of like the Brown, Tatum, like when they go to that ISO half court stuff. But he just gets into his shit a lot quicker than Tatum does. I think that they should go after Jordan Clarkson if they were to go after a Jazz.
Yeah, but I think like the Gallinari signing was so good because it really addressed like, okay, what's going on? What's going on the wings when Brown and Tatum are sitting? And yeah, like now they've got Brogdon as well. It's like they're gonna have They're gonna have a lot of guards. They're gonna have to find minutes for. When their best rotation last year had Jaylen Brown playing at the 2. So yes, but fucking I don't know. Yeah, if you're adding 12 points a game in the playoffs just by Jordan Clarkson being there, then that's a fine gamble to take.
What about Vando?
Nah,
the Celtics.
I think they want him.
That makes sense. Just one throat clear, please.
I think I've heard people disagree because, okay, how good is he going to be when this Utah team is good?
Yeah,
probably he'll be the 5th best player on the floor, but I think they want to develop him further until he's like a really tradable guy. Because right now he's he was pretty good for Minnesota last year.
Yeah.
But if he gets a full season of starting, then I think he'll be a lot more valuable.
Yeah. Do you want to bounce on over to the other league?
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
I was trying to think. I feel like I had something else to say about Donovan Mitchell. One thing. Can this team as it is with a couple more role players, is that a championship team?
As it is.
Yeah.
With a couple more role players.
Without adding another borderline all-star or a legit all-star.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
No. I don't know who the leader would be.
Yeah.
Who would be the finals MVP?
Darius Garland.
Is
Man, it'd
he-
be sick if Evan Mobley had like a 17-17 3-block NBA finals.
That would be sick.
Yeah.
But I just can't think of who would be the finals MVP on this team. I think that they'd need to bring that player in. So, no, I think that they'd need to... I think that one of the four, and I think it'll probably be Donovan Mitchell,
Yeah.
will turn into their superstar in a couple of years' time.
Interesting. Okay. I like that. Final thing, actually, it was what you said before, and I didn't get to say it. I just want to say it. I was listening to this Ange Postecoglou interview.
Oh, awesome.
Because our buddy's been coaching the Celtics football club for a couple of years now. He's doing quite well. And they're playing Real Madrid 5 a.m. tomorrow in the Champions League, which is sick. Just like sick matchup. And then it was this pre-game press conference thing, and he was like, he got asked, are you kind of worried about going into this game with such high expectations? Like, don't you think you need to like burst the fans bubble? And he's like, no, what are you talking about? Like, these people, he literally said this in as many words. These people come home from their shitty jobs, they're getting fucked over all the time in their real life. Like, the last thing they need is for me to be like, yeah, we're probably not going to beat Real Madrid and burst their bubble. Like, that's the job of a sporting club, is to like instill hope in its fans, and to kind of keep that bubble alive, even when it might not be realistic. Cleveland, right? They won a championship in 2016, and they went to the finals 4 years straight. When LeBron James leaves, I feel like there's this kind of expectation that's like, oh, well, Cleveland now are just they're just a bottom feeding club. And they probably always will be, because they're in a smaller market and, blah, 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 blah. I think the front office has looked and been like, no, our fans remember watching the NBA finals 4 years ago. Like, why fucking wait to bring that back to Cleveland? Yeah. So I think if I was a Cleveland fan, like in Cleveland, I'd just be so happy to have like stuck by. I'm sure all of them did, but to have stuck by the franchise like through. Because like 2 years ago, I didn't have any hope for Cleveland.
Nah, no way.
It's like, yeah, they got those two young guards. Neither of them will probably be any good. Like, blah, 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 blah. We're doing shit, what seemed like pretty crap front office moves. The Jared Allen thing was like, all right, you got like a nice little handoff in the Harden trade. But there just didn't seem to be a lot to be happy about if you're a Cleveland fan. And I think the front office have sort of proved, they're like, nah, our fans remember being champions not that long ago. So like we can't just sit here at the bottom of the East.
That's such a good, what good parallels you just drew. That's such a nice story. You're so right. There are so many incompetent teams, and look at how competent the Cavs are. Yeah. Not only competent, but like really good at running their team. Yeah, that must be the best. Yeah. But then also, what preceded LeBron? Is that the right word?
Yeah.
So, like,
well, what?
The 90s, they had, like, Mark Price and stuff, and they were pretty good. And then there was a few years before they had LeBron, I think they were pretty shit. So, since, like, the mid-80s, it's probably been, like, good to be a Cavs fan. Yeah. That's kind of interesting, because Cleveland is not, like, a big market.
No, not at all. And they just have that stink about them of being, like, a kind of shit, small market Midwest team that, like, is never very good. It's like, well, nah, man. Well, yeah, sure, they got the greatest player of all time. That helps. but like, I think this trade will sort of prove that, like, Cleveland would probably have known, like, being a Cleveland fan has probably not had that many long periods of unhappiness. Yeah. Like, as opposed to being like a Knicks fan or something like that, where you're like, I just can't see any way out of this mire in the next 10 years.
Yeah. Well, the 5 years before they got LeBron, they were bad. Yeah. And then LeBron's rookie season, they were below 500, but they had LeBron. And before that 5 year stretch before they had LeBron in the 90s, they had a winning record pretty much every year but one since 87.
Wow. There you go.
So since 87, 88, they would have had, God, like maybe 10 bad teams. But some of those bad teams included hope. And then also some of those bad teams were around the corner from turning it back around.
Yeah.
So, fuck it. Damn, they're like sneaky one of the more fun teams to be a fan of.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I just think of like, you know, you watch that 2018 draft night interview with Colin Sexton. Where he's like, stay. And you're like, oh, you poor fucking suckers. You know, maybe you don't feel so sorry for them. Like, maybe it's like, when you go into a rebuild, if you're bad for, they were bad for 4 seasons, that's fine.
Yeah, 3.
Yeah.
But like,
they didn't make the playoffs this year, but like, they were a fun team to follow.
But also 3 seasons, and like, what set that off? You lost the best player of all time.
Yeah.
That's not that long.
Yeah.
All right, now we should jump over into
sorry.
them. Yeah.
Sorry. Just wanted to make that last point.
No, that's okay.
Sport, basketball, sport.
And welcome back from that nice little Deep Do ad. Yeah, fucking oath, bro. I run this shit. Man, oh fuck. All right, do you want to do like quick ones on the Sun Sky and then get into the?
We can go so quick on the Sun Sky, man.
Yeah, okay.
That game was not very good.
Man, I'm writing these like roundups of the playoffs, and obviously my job as a writer, it's not my job, but obviously in my role as a writer, I need to make shit interesting. And I actually had a sentence that I removed from the article saying, there's not much to report in this game. Because I have to make it... Yeah. I'm still like trying to write the story of a game. But game 3, there's not much to report. These two teams, you know what they are? They're just heavyweights just throwing slugs into each other. And it's an ugly series.
Yeah.
But they're both staying alive. They're both throwing punches and they're both just copping them.
Yeah.
And it's ugly, which is also, there is something fun about that. But yeah, this is like the best thing I can say is that it's just two heavyweight fighters just smashing the shit out of each other.
At least in game 1, you know, it was like that was a fun game to watch, and then it had a fun fourth quarter where you're like, oh wow, like the Sun won this. I don't really know how.
Yeah.
And like not in like a necessarily a bad way. It's just like I just didn't see this coming until the last 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And then in game 2, it's just like, all right, Chicago Sky they're going big mode. And they're clicking, everything's right. This game, like the Sun were really bad. They were turning the ball over a lot. Their D was good.
Their D was really good.
Their D was really good, but their offense was just completely dead in the water. But then the Sky, they just didn't have that like ruthless attitude, you know. Like they jumped on every single turnover, which is just like absolutely their strength. But there were just moments when it's like, just go for the fucking throat now.
Yeah.
You know? And they were just sort of lackadaisically passing the ball around.
Yeah.
And then obviously they missed like a million threes, if I recall correctly. And then the biggest head scratcher, I mean it wasn't, but when the Sun were on that 6-minute scoring drought in the fourth, and then they pulled Jonquel Jones from minute 3 to 40 seconds left or something like that. And it was just like, it was the right decision because they got a bucket pretty much straight away and it opened the game up a lot. But man, we've been really hooing and hawing about Jonquel Jones on this podcast. It's just not a good sign if you're pulling her with 3 minutes to go.
Yeah.
In like not a must win, but like a pretty important that you win playoff game.
Yeah. Completely agree. She was 3 of 10 shooting.
Yeah.
She needs to be shooting more than 10 shots.
Yeah.
And then also she can't be getting pulled. I think that the Sky, they missed a lot of threes, but I feel like in watching the game, the Sun were forcing them into bad threes. Like, it never really felt like their players were shooting rhythm three. The Sky's players were shooting rhythm threes. I also think that the Sun played really poorly, or at least they executed their offense quite poorly, and then they didn't make the most of the good looks that they had. And they also still had a chance to win the game. So I think that's a good sign for the Sun. That's a good sign for the Sun, and that's also a bit of a bad sign for the Sky, because they should have put this game away. So moving into game 4, I think again, as I said in the last episode, I think the Sky will win and it'll be a 3-1 series. But it's been a pretty ugly series, I reckon.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think the Sky will they didn't look their most active today. And I think whenever that's happened to them, they just bounce back and have a big game. So I think it'll be a pretty easy win. The one bright spot in watching it was Emma Meeseman was really good, and I feel like she's had a really average series.
Yeah.
But yeah, she was lighting up. She was hitting heaps of big shots. And oh wow, I'm looking. She had 5 steals. That's quite good.
Yeah. Is the next game? It's tomorrow.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, the game's tomorrow, 10 and 12.
Damn, that's my day off.
Oh damn. Well. Should we move on to the other game?
Yes.
So.
Oh my god.
All right, let's just start by saying, winner of Storm Aces is winning the ring.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. What was your take on Game 3?
Fucking, this was insane. I think it was about 5 minutes left in the third, and every possession started feeling like the last possession of the game.
Yeah.
And it was just it felt like a quarter and a half of no one missing, of just like, oh my god, just both teams just pulling off the craziest offensive plays, just hitting the craziest shots, and just there was no stop, score, stop, you know? It was stop, stop, or score, score.
Yeah.
And just no one able to pull away. Chelsea Gray is honestly, she's looking like the best player in the world right now. She's just incredible. She somehow had the best game. Well, it felt like she was our best player. And Asia Wilson had 19 points in the first half.
It's crazy. Like, Asia has dropped 30 in back-to-back games.
Yeah.
She dropped 34 on 14 of 20 shooting. You watch this game, absolutely Chelsea Gray's the best player on the court. And Asia looks silky. Asia, makes it look good as well. And she makes it look easy. And you'll come away from this game thinking Chelsea Gray is the best player in the world. And she is right now. She has to be right now. Man, okay. The first fucking quarter of this game, I don't know how you watch that as an Aces fan, but as a Storm fan, I was fucking so angry. You guys got up 15, I'm pretty sure, in the first quarter. And we were just... I don't even know what it was. We were just we weren't present. We weren't acting like it was Game 3 of a series that we had stolen home court for. We didn't look desperate enough at all. Gabby Williams coming back was great. She was great in the first quarter. But also, throughout the game, and mainly in the first quarter, just so many defensive breakdowns. And as soon as you have them against the Aces, you guys just make your opponents pay. But so many 2 players going to 1 player, and then leaving a player open, and then you guys would just capitalize off that. But I couldn't believe going down 15 points in the first quarter. I then also couldn't believe that you guys let us even it up by the third.
Yeah.
So, because in that first quarter, I was like, okay, the Aces are just going to go on this run until the end of the playoffs now and just win the ring from this is going to be the start of this is going to be the beginning of the end for the rest of the playoffs.
Yeah.
And then you guys let us back into the game, and we were playing really well, but not really well enough to even the score up, I found. So I think that there are actually a couple of bad signs from each team.
Yeah, definitely.
In this game. Go on.
Well, I was going to say, in that first quarter, and then I think in OT, spoilers alert, we really papered over the 2 big mistakes that we'd been making, in that when we caused a defensive break and got a bucket, in games 1 and I would say 2, you would just go up the other end and score. You would get on the fast break and put it in the net. We just did not let that happen. We were setting up so much better, after a score, and we were moving the ball so much faster than we've been all series. Because the most annoying thing about playing the Seattle Storm is they'll double you, and you'll be like, fuck yeah, rotation, open 3. Suddenly all 5 players are on all 5 of your players again, before you can get it to an open player. And that's what was happening in game 1, over and over again. We'd be you would go to double Asia, go to triple Asia, and she'd kick it out to someone, and then it just wouldn't result in like a defensive breakdown at the end. I think when you guys made the run on the way back, like I think we were just missing shots. I think Kelsey Plum, I love her, but she's not been selecting the best shots in this series.
Yeah.
I think she really shot us out in about the third quarter. And then you were just kind of doing what we were doing to you. Like every time we'd make a mistake, you would just execute straight away. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that Kelsey Plum has been taken out of her game, which I didn't think was possible.
Yeah.
And then also I think same deal with Jewel Lloyd. She
had some stinkers in this game.
And the game she played well, we ended up winning. And I think that it is as a result of the way that your team is defending her. Look, I don't know about the Breon January and Epiphany Prince minutes in this series, but if they are to happen, man, your rotation is 6 players. Derek Hamby had 3 minutes and 51 seconds. I think you have to put her on ice for her own sake as well. She's not a star. She's not guaranteed money, and the money in the WNBA isn't good enough for her to risk her career. And she just was she was just not playing in the same game as everyone else.
And we pulled her after her first cameo.
Yeah.
The other role players on both teams, all 3 of them, like the other bench players on for both of us, fucking man, like Steph Talbot's 12-point quarter.
Yeah.
I mean,
Raquana
Williams
my fucking
hitting that
God.
3 at the end of the 4th. Like,
What about-
with no room?
What about... So she was 5 of 10.
Yeah.
4 of 8 from 3. And also that other bucket she made was a toe on the line 2.
Yeah.
Oh my God, she's cash. She's like... without her, you don't win the game because it doesn't go to OT.
Absolutely.
We win, like straight up. We're winning in a regulation if Raquana Williams isn't playing.
Yeah.
But also this isn't like a blemish. This is like very repeatable, and she looks like so empowered to be shooting.
Yeah, definitely.
And she definitely fits in on the court. Now, in saying that means you guys have a 6-player rotation. Asia's playing 45 minutes in a 45-minute basketball game. Look, if we're gonna play Epiphany Prince and Breon January, start them both for the first quarter. They are tagging Chelsea Gray and Kelsey Plum. I'm not joking. This is how I would do it if I was Noelle Quinn. You need to be a bit more radical. Yeah. And also, she's not a great offensive coach, but you're not going to pay for that. You're not going to just figure that out overnight. And you are a great defensive coach. You just get them to play the entire first quarter. If they fail out in the first quarter, they fail in the first quarter. And then you get Gabby Williams in the second quarter to play the same role, but just exhaust them. If Hammond wants to go with a 6-player rotation, then you know that going into the game, just exhaust them. That has to be a part of the game plan, and then figure the rest out in the second half. Like win the game in the second half, exhaust them in the first half.
Yeah, it's incredible how indefatigable. I hope I'm using that word right. Asia is though. Like she had in the third quarter, like she only had 2 points. I think Ezzy had a good block on her. I think. And it was like, oh, okay, like she's cooked, like she's played every minute, she's done. And then she had 10 in the 4th or something like that.
I think we could tie her out, Chelsea Gray.
Yeah.
It felt like in the second half she was
she was really digging into her reserves.
Yeah.
But then in OT she had fucking let's get that up. What did she have? Yeah, she had 8 points on 3 or 4 shooting in her OT.
Oh damn. Oh, none of those are free throws.
Yeah.
Damn.
So yeah, it's hard. Like, I think like, let's actually before we sort of cap that, like, what happens in game 4, man. Let's just talk through the last 40 seconds.
Yeah, no, that has to happen.
Of the 4th quarter.
So, okay, like, all right, look. Oh fuck, man.
I need to get the play-by-play up. It's just
through all of the sporting events I have ever been to in my life, for the teams that I follow, there've been some tough losses, but they've been tough pills to swallow, but I've swallowed them. I can't swallow this pill. It is like, it's actually burning me. Like, you couldn't imagine how I felt in that last 40 seconds. You can probably imagine how I felt.
I can imagine.
But even that Sue Bird 3 in the corner, at least you can be like, that's a grade of the WNBA, and this is a nice way of her to go out.
Yeah.
I screamed when she hit that 3. And then, how long was on the clock after that?
1.6 seconds.
1.6 seconds, and you sent it to overtime on what?
A Jackie Young layup.
A Jackie Young layup, but like, she was making contact with Ezzy, and Ezzy like pulled away from going for the block. Bruh, Ezzy, you got 8 inches on her, and she's in your domain.
Yeah.
She's at the rim for you to just spike that shit out of bounds. Like, you have... It was basically an open layup.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
if you were to watch the play, it was basically an open layup, and then it was tied 92, and then went to OT.
Yeah, and I think Ezzy was... I think more than being afraid of fouling Jackie Young, I think Ezzy was afraid of an and one.
Yeah.
You know, because Jackie Young hasn't played great this series, but she had this spark in that last 4 minutes of the fourth quarter where she just looked really hungry and she looked like she really wanted to win the game. And you just had a feeling like she looked like she'd beaten Ezzy, and maybe that was the pulling away was part of it.
Yeah.
But she was outpacing her. You know, it would have been a 50-50 ball. But then I don't know. Do you take that 50? Obviously, if you know the result, you take that 50-50 ball. You don't let it go to OT, and then you don't sort of fall apart like
Just hack
you
her.
did in OT.
You're big enough. You're big enough to be able to go for the block, and then in the middle of that action, realize if I'm going to block it. Okay, if I'm not going to block it, I can absolutely I can hit the ball on a foul.
Yeah.
And then make her hit the free throws. But like, I think it was pretty inexcusable by Ezzy that play.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean that's like been your one criticism of her this year is that she just doesn't always have, you know, her basketball brain switched on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So no, that's like seriously, it's burning me out there. I think next game we need to press you guys. We need to get Jewel Lloyd into the offense sooner. And yeah, fuck. There's just like so much. I think you guys are gonna win the ring, and I think you guys are gonna beat us next game. Like it's gonna be series over after next game. But I don't know. I feel like this is Sue Bird's last game is tomorrow.
Yeah.
And I feel like she should. I just think that there are a few things that we could do differently that we're not going to do differently tomorrow.
Yeah. But I don't know, man. Like that game is fucking textbook definition of like, you know, splitting hairs.
Yeah.
Like by all means, Super holds on to it for 0.6 seconds longer.
Yeah.
And it's basically it's impossible for Jackie Young to make a layup in that time.
Yeah.
You know, like they obviously when you're dealing with that much, they're replaying it and figuring out when the shot clock finished. But like the shot clock, the clock is measured differently on one play earlier in the game, and it's just a completely different result. Like I think when you have a finish like that, which it had. There were 6 plays in 11 seconds.
They were all makes?
No. Well, Tina Charles missed 2 free throws.
Oh my god, that as well, Tina. So I knew she was going to miss them. Because she hadn't been in the game. She was also having a bad game, and she's had a pretty bad series. But I knew she was going to miss them. And you guys defended it perfectly. There was no mistake made.
Yeah.
The fact that she got the ball inbounded to her, that was completely your game plan.
Yeah. So to talk through the last I think we should do the last 38 seconds.
Okay.
So
you got the play-by-play on
I got it up. So
reference?
You guys are up 2 points. Kelsey Plum takes a pretty average 3-pointer, misses it. Oh no, wait. No, I'm getting ahead of myself. No, then goes up the other end. Stewie takes a 2-pointer. It goes out. It looks like it's off you, and I'm like, oh, we get an inbound. It's not. We ask for a review. Ball stays with you. We just take foul Jewel Lloyd. This is 11 seconds. She hits 2 free throws. at about 10 seconds, we inbound it. Rihanna Williams hits a 3-point jump shot.
And now it's 88-89. We're up 1.
Yeah, you guys are up 1. You guys take a timeout. 8 seconds. Inbound to Tina Charles. Take a foul. She misses both free throws.
And so now it's still 88-89, and I'm shitting at this point.
Another timeout. We inbound it. Asia makes a layup. 2 seconds.
Yeah. 2 seconds left in the game right now, everyone. 2 seconds left in the game.
2 seconds left.
Actually, it was 1.6 or something.
No,
this is 2 seconds.
Yeah, it's a bit more than 2, I think.
Yeah.
You guys, we're 1 point up.
Yeah. So now it's 90-89 aces.
You inbound it to Sue Bird. She makes the fucking most clutch corner 3 ever.
Yeah.
You guys are 2 points up with 1.6 seconds to go.
I squeal. My voice breaks. We go to timeout. You can't lose from here.
I'd spoiled the result for myself, and I still thought we were gonna lose. I just don't know. I just don't know how we're gonna do it.
Oh my god!
I don't know how. Unless we hit some ridiculous jump shot, like they're gonna defend us well enough that we don't get a bucket.
You know what's something? If you look at the play-by-play, E. Magbagor enters the game for T. Charles. Next line down, Jay Young makes 2-point layup from 4 feet.
Yeah.
But it doesn't tell you that it's on E. Magbagor.
It doesn't.
And obviously, E. Magbagor in for T. Charles. That's what 100% of the time, no matter who you are, that's the substitution you make. But who knows if that move wasn't made?
Yeah. Who fucking knows? Yeah.
Man,
what a game! If you haven't watched that, go buy WNBA League Pass. It's like $20 at the moment. It's like going to see a good movie. You'd pay $20 to see it, wouldn't you? So pay $20 to see it.
And you get like hundreds of other good movies as well for a year.
But if you only watch one movie, make it this one.
Yeah. I also think you can buy single games for $3.
Oh, damn.
But definitely watch it.
Well, there you go.
Now, look, here, this was, you guys won the game after this Jackie Young layup. Had these two been switched and Sue Bird hit the 3 and we went into OT, I think we would have won. Yeah. I think that was how big the momentum was from the Sue Bird make and the Jackie Young make. That, whichever one happened later, that team would have won the game.
Yeah, and it was that crowd-wide disbelief of like, what the fuck is happening at our home court?
Yeah,
Devontae Graham hitting the full court shot at the fucking cheapsake arena or whatever it's called.
Chesapeake Energy Arena.
Thank you.
Yeah, and then OT. What do you guys have? 18 points.
Yeah.
Like, what does that even mean?
Yeah, we won the game by 12 points, and like that just shouldn't have been the result.
18 points. It honestly looks like you just played another quarter, but you had half the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Oh yeah, this is it. This is it. This is the end of Sue Bird's career. But like, at least she's going out on top. Like, 17 points, 8 assists, 0 turnovers.
The most, like an absolutely clutch 3-pointer.
5 of 9 from 3 for the game.
Yeah, that should have won you the game.
Yeah.
Like, let's admit it.
Yeah.
I think that's a pretty good way to cap your career.
Yeah.
If you can't win a chip, then that's as good as it gets.
Yeah. Also, I don't know WNBA history anywhere near well enough, but like, I'm sure this Aces team would be one of the best WNBA teams of all time.
Yeah.
So like, a noble team to go out against.
It feels like, I don't know. I feel like such a douchebag because I follow them, but it feels like one of those moments where you're like, oh, like this league's about to get a whole lot better, you know, like because the team at the top is like that good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
should we go on to some Zars?
Yeah, definitely.
All right. Well, go watch those games. If you're done listening to this, I guess. Fucking check out Lucas's recaps on thedeep2.com as well.
Yeah.
We haven't plugged those on here yet.
Yeah, well, the second round recap hasn't come out yet as the second round hasn't finished. But it could be out tomorrow. It could be out tomorrow. It'll probably be out Thursday. Yeah. I'll talk to Doug there.
We'll keep an eye on it anyway.
Yeah, but the round one is out. Alright, bye.
See ya.